Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well today. We are going to talk through just very briefly the how to set up Oracle with the CloudCard photo downloader. So I've got a few windows open here on the screen. The first and perhaps the most important is the CloudCard photo downloader GitHub page, which has all kinds of good information in there. Okay. Um, so what you're going to want to do to get started is download the zip file, which I've already downloaded here, all right, and exploded into a directory, in this case called CloudCard Photo Downloader 2. I've got a terminal open to that same directory. And then over here on the right-hand side, I have the properties file that you're going to need for setting this up. Okay, so of course you're going to need your access token. And the next thing you'll need is you'll need to configure the storage service. The default storage service is the file storage service. So in this case, we're going to use the database storage service because we're trying to save these into Oracle. This setting right here, don't use it. I've just got that set right now to just for testing purposes so that I can keep downloading the same photos over and over again. So you can just leave this off, or you can change it to whatever is appropriate for your situation. All right, so that brings us to our database configured connection info. First off, you're going to want to enable your data source. Okay, so the default setting here is false. You'll want to change it to true. Then the driver class name for Oracle, it's oracle.jdbc or Oracle driver, and then you'll need your data source URL. So here is the one for the test database that I've got set up here. You need the whole thing all the way back to the JDBC protocol. A username, the default that for this one I've set up is CloudCard, and then a password. And then finally, you're going to want to set the Hibernate dialect, which is going to be, Oracle 10G dialect. Okay. You may need to set the data source schema. Okay, in this case, I have actually set up the table, and actually let me show you that table very quickly. Here we go. Here's the table that we have configured. All right, and so we've got within the downloader, there's an oracle.sql file that you can use just to kind of get yourself started. Okay, we set up, and this is pretty close to what we used. So we created a user called CloudCard, identified by. Don't forget to put an actual password in there. In our case, we just put perscarce2 right there. Connect to, you need to give them connect and create session privileges, and then give them the ability to create table space. So then we created a really simple table. We simply called it CloudCard Photos, and of course we put it in the CloudCard schema, so it would belong to this user. And so that's where you might, if your photos table is in a different schema from your user, then you might need to, well, there's no might about it. You'll need to grant the appropriate privileges and specify the schema name down here. Okay. But anyway, that's just getting into the nitty gritty of Oracle, which I'm sure you understand already. So the optional settings here, if you use a different, and actually let me circle back around to things that you can configure. So my recommendation, and we actually include it right here in the comments, is to go ahead and just get started with the default settings. Use this exact table to get things going. That way, okay, cool, we're connecting to the database, we're able to store blobs, everything's working. And then to gradually increase the complexity, okay? So you can add, a primary keys to the table, or you could switch over to using a table that's already existing, okay? And to do that, what you would do is you would come down and you change some of these settings, okay? So you'd say, hey, listen, the table name is not CloudCard Photos, it's something else, okay? And the column name is, whatever it is, and then the student ID is whatever it is. But the whatever table you use needs to have at least this relative geometry. It needs to have at least 2 columns, one of which is called student ID, which is a varchar column. Another, which is a blob that is it's got the photo in it. They can be called whatever they need to be. So if that's not the situation, then the simplest thing to do is to simply create this table or some very similar variation of this table, and then install a trigger, an on-insert trigger on this table so that it will grab what you've got, what's coming in, and then put it into the correct table. That's the simplest setup if you're trying to get your photos into an existing table and it doesn't perfectly match the table geometry that we've got here. Okay, so that's enough about setting up your table and these optional settings. Like I said, which we're not using, I've just got them commented out right now. But if I come in here with those settings and then I type run.sh. All right, that fires off the downloader. You'll notice that downloader.log just opened up here. So I'm going to actually go ahead in another tab, open that up over here, and we can see the log output. Okay, so you can see it started up just fine, and it downloaded 2 photos. Okay, so there you go. That's your basic Oracle setup. If you've got any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to support@onlinephotosubmission.com. Thanks and have a great day.